Let me pose a very direct and personal question to you. Think back carefully. When was the last moment you truly felt well? Not just okay, not just surviving, but genuinely full of energy, mentally crisp, and physically solid. If you have to pause and really search your memory for that answer, then this message is meant specifically for you. There is one fact that completely shook me when I first uncovered it during my 12-year medical career. The average male in America lives almost 6 fewer years than the average female in America. 6 entire years. That's not a trivial difference. That's extra time with your grandkids, additional vacations after retirement, and more irreplaceable moments alongside the people who mean the most to you. Most folks assume the explanation is straightforward. Men engage in riskier behavior. Men are more careless. But through all the years I've spent treating patients, I've come to realize that's not the actual truth. The real threats aren't flashy. They're everyday, they're quiet, and the vast majority of men never even notice them approaching. I'm Dr. Mandell, and in this session, I want to guide you through the 5 behaviors that are genuinely cutting men's lives short. And I give you my word, the very first one is going to surprise you. Most people instinctively guess it's alcohol, but alcohol only makes it to number 5. Before we dive any deeper, if you're getting value from this content, please do me a favor. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below telling me your location. I genuinely appreciate hearing from the men who are part of this community. All right, let's begin. Arriving at position number 5, alcohol. Now, before you shrug and say, "I've heard all this before," just hang on with me, because the real threat is not what the average man thinks. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention calculates that alcohol reduces the average male lifespan by roughly 2 to 3 years. That almost sounds tolerable, doesn't it? But keep in mind, that's merely the average. Men who binge, who down 3, 4, or even 5 drinks on a Friday evening after a grueling week, can lose 10, 15, or even 20 years of life. Here's the element that most guys overlook. The issue isn't necessarily daily drinking. It's the pattern that so many American men adopt. It's the weekend blowout. It's keeping it together all week long, then going overboard once Saturday arrives. That approach, drinking rapidly and drinking to chase a buzz, is exactly what overloads your liver. Your liver can handle only about 1 standard drink every hour. Once you push past that limit, liver cells start dying faster than your body can generate new ones. Inflammation begins to accumulate, and fat starts depositing in liver tissue that was never built to store it. After turning 40, I observe this all the time in my practice. The liver's capacity to bounce back decreases significantly. The same quantity of alcohol your system managed at 25 can inflict 2 or even 3 times more destruction at 55. And the harm doesn't end with the liver. Alcohol contributes to poor sleep, increasing blood pressure, declining testosterone, worsening anxiety, and greater inflammation throughout the entire body. Most men never make these connections. They just notice they don't feel like their old selves anymore, without grasping why. The answer isn't absolute perfection, it's mindfulness. Offer yourself a few alcohol-free days each week. Decelerate whenever you do consume. And following a heavier night, let your liver have time to recuperate. Small adjustments can yield remarkably noticeable outcomes. But keep in mind, alcohol is only fifth. What follows is considerably more perilous. Number 4 is something that shows up in my office undercover almost every week: chronic stress. And regarding long-term harm, it actually ranks even above alcohol. That shocks nearly everybody. A lengthy Harvard study revealed that men living under persistent, unrelenting stress lose an average of over 4 years from their lives. But that figure barely reflects the true internal damage. When stress turns into your everyday background track, not an occasional spike of pressure, but a nonstop drone that never turns off. The stress hormone cortisol perpetually bathes your system. Short cortisol spikes are protective. Chronic cortisol is destructive. It compromises your immune defenses, it tightens your blood vessels, and adds extra load on your heart. It pushes your blood sugar increasingly higher, and it quietly ruins the quality of your sleep, even if you're in bed for a full 8 hours. I constantly remind my patients to envision the body as a precision machine. Ongoing stress is like operating that machine without any coolant. Everything keeps running outwardly, but every internal component is slowly wearing down from within. And here's the cultural hurdle. Numerous men are conditioned to power through, to remain silent, and to demonstrate their toughness by never addressing their burdens. So they internalize everything. The tension keeps mounting. There's no relief valve, no constructive release, not a sudden explosion, just a gradual, invisible deterioration. But chronic stress does have one crucial vulnerability. You don't have to resolve every issue in your life before your body can start repairing itself. A real walk outdoors, an open-hearted conversation with a trusted person, an hour spent on something that genuinely lifts your spirit. These are not indulgences, they are treatment. Give your nervous system permission to settle down, and your body already knows precisely how to initiate healing. And remember, this is only number 4. What lies ahead is even more hazardous. Number 3 is the one that blindsides most men completely: social isolation. And the most insidious part is how gradually it creeps in on you. In your 20s, your life is generally overflowing with friends, teammates, co-workers, and active social networks. Then your 40s hit. Work starts consuming everything. Family becomes the center of gravity. Friendships slowly slip away. And one day, a man in his 50s looks around and realizes his entire social universe has contracted to just a handful of relationships, sometimes even just one. We simply weren't designed to exist that way. Humans are biologically hardwired for connection, and when those deep connections vanish, the body registers that absence as a danger. A major analysis that pooled data from over 300,000 people discovered that social isolation raises the chance of early death by up to 50%. That's a risk level comparable to being a long-term heavy smoker. Unlike cigarettes or alcohol, isolation leaves no outward warning signs. There's no clear diagnosis, no physical clue that points straight to it. Instead, it fosters a quiet sense of hollowness, and that hollowness triggers actual measurable biological harm. Inflammation increases, the immune system grows weaker, blood pressure becomes more resistant to control, and gradually self-care starts to erode. Social isolation does not necessarily mean living by yourself. It means having no one you can be completely open with, no one who truly comprehends what you're carrying. The encouraging news: the human body reacts to authentic connection almost right away. One call to an old friend, one coffee gathering on a Saturday morning, joining one group, one club, one team, one environment where you authentically feel you belong. It doesn't call for dramatic upheaval, but it does have to be real, because real human connection doesn't merely brighten your mood. Research consistently proves it can actually extend your lifespan. And remember, this is only third. The final 2 habits are even more dangerous. Number 2 is something I truly wish more men would take to heart: insufficient sleep. This surpasses chronic stress and social isolation in its impact, yet most men vastly underestimate how destructive it really is. Sleep is often viewed as a luxury, something to sacrifice whenever life gets busy. One more show, one more email, one more chore, a few less hours of sleep. It doesn't appear significant, but your body intensely disagrees. When you consistently fail to get adequate sleep, Your brain and all your major organs are forced to operate during the hours that were specifically reserved for maintenance and restoration. Your heart rate increases to compensate, your blood vessels stiffen, your blood sugar becomes progressively tougher to manage. Even a single night with only 5 hours of sleep can decrease immune function by almost 30%. According to the American Academy of Sleep Medicine, men who routinely sleep less than 6 hours per night live on average over 7 years, less than those who get sufficient sleep. 7 years, erased by a behavior that feels totally harmless. And here's the deceptive part. You slowly grow accustomed to being tired. You convince yourself you're managing fine. Maybe you're just a bit lethargic. Maybe you just need another coffee. Meanwhile, your cardiovascular system and hormones are straining just to maintain basic function. The positive side is that your body responds quickly. After just 2 or 3 nights of truly restorative sleep, around 7 to 8 hours per night, your blood pressure starts falling, your focus sharpens, your mood evens out, and your vitality comes back. Sleep is not wasted time. It is the time your body devotes to mending itself and pulling you back from the brink. If you want to start improving your sleep this very night, stick to a regular bedtime, including weekends. Power down your phone at least 1 hour before bed. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Skip caffeine after the early afternoon. These aren't complex adjustments, but with time, their advantages build in powerful ways. And now, the number one habit that is shortening men's lives. It's not alcohol, it's not chronic stress, it's not even sleep loss. It's sitting, just sitting. I realize that sounds almost overly simplistic to take seriously, and that's precisely what makes it so lethal. A 20-year investigation tracking more than 120,000 individuals found that men who sit for over 8 hours daily face a 60% higher risk of dying prematurely. In truth, a sedentary way of living can reduce a man's life by as many as 12 years. The destruction isn't visible, it's occurring deep within you. When you stay seated for extended durations, the large muscles in your legs, the biggest calorie-burning muscles in your body, effectively switch off. Blood starts gathering in your lower half. Circulation slows. Your brain receives less oxygen, which is why long-sitting spells often leave you feeling mentally cloudy and physically worn out. Simultaneously, insulin resistance quietly begins developing, raising your odds of type 2 diabetes. Inflammation climbs. Your heart must labor harder merely to pump blood through a circulatory system that is becoming progressively inflexible. And here's the most essential takeaway I want you to remember. It's not merely the total hours of sitting that do the greatest harm. It's how long you remain planted without standing and moving. After only 30 minutes of nonstop sitting, your metabolism starts decelerating. Fat storage accelerates. Muscle tissue begins breaking down faster than it should. Use it or lose it is not just a catchy gym slogan, it is basic human biology. But here's what I always enjoy telling my patients. You don't need an expensive gym membership. You don't need a complicated exercise plan. You simply need to break up your sedentary periods. Rise every 30 minutes and move for just 2 minutes. Take a brief stroll after meals. Even 5 minutes makes a measurable impact. Stand while taking phone calls. Opt for stairs whenever you can. Park a little further away. Let movement become a natural fragment of your daily routine, rather than something you must repeatedly schedule. The instant you stand and start moving, your body immediately begins recovering. That's not motivational fluff, that's biology. When you zoom out and examine all 5 habits as a whole, one truth becomes impossible to deny. Men seldom lose their health because of a single dramatic event. They lose it little by little through small choices repeated day in, day out, week after week, year after year. Alcohol may rob you of 2 or 3 years. Chronic stress can claim 4 years or more. Social isolation may steal 5 years or more. Sleep deprivation can take over 7 years, and sitting can strip away as many as 12 years. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.